Yeah, my name is Lo Siu Tong. I'm a retiree just 2 years ago, and my first contact, the feeling of being a caregiver was 3 years ago when my wife fell. Just a normal sort of fall at Vivo City, and by the twist of fate, she was hospitalized for like 5 months. First, when she was hospitalized, she was diagnosed during the process with other, some ailments like urinary problems and things like that. So when she was discharged, we were so happy. But the sad news is that she can't walk. That was my biggest fear.
My name is Jane Cole. I'm a grandmother, aged 70 years, with 3 grandsons, 3 grown-up adults, and also a principal caregiver to my husband, who's aged 69. He had stroke in 2016, and that was the beginning of my caregiving journey as a caregiver. I think the routine has changed a lot. When my husband was discharged from the hospital 4 months after being in NUH, he did 1 month of rehab in St. Andrew, and that was when he came home in April 2017. But luckily, everything was been done for him. We have the safety bars, and his room has got all the equipment. And the routine for me has changed is because right now, from being a normal housewife who's free to go traveling and all that, and suddenly you find that this is something that has happened, and it is also a bit of a sense of like giving up things that you love to do, when you want to go out with your friends and all that. But most important is that we know that even my children knows that, okay, life has changed because father has got stroke, and we know how he feels. He was very upset that stroke has come to him at a time when he was ready to enjoy life. So we have felt that we have to give him all the love that even though as a stroke survivor, a stroke patient, nothing has changed much because it's only your left hand and left leg, and with physiotherapy and occupational therapies and TCM and all that, it's a matter of being positive. So we try to inculcate this in our dealings with him. All this happening creates some confusion in the sense that, I felt a bit like sad that, a lot of things I can't go out and do now with my friends or chatting and all that, because first thing is a priority for my husband. But in real life, I think as we go along in our caregiving journey, we also continue to learn how much we have come to this stage. And most important thing is that when you love someone and being a wife, you want to do the best. You don't think of yourself. Even though I'm still doing chemo, I always think that my first preference is my husband.
It's painful to start with when you suddenly have to be in direct contact with the patient, which is my own wife, who is now immobile and relies heavily on me and the helper for all the daily duties, feeding, eating, changing, walking, and also especially more difficult when you bring up medical appointments. So, yes, this caused me to realign my activities, So, of course, it really upset my daily routine, having to balance work, Routine, yes, it's definitely changed. So even though it's a blessing to have a helper, worries remain. And that gives me more worries, anxieties over her condition, especially that I don't see her walking yet.
I think the freedom to be able to go out without having to call the house to see, how's my husband doing? If he's alone and my daughter's not working at home, then he's only alone with the helper. So I have to remember that I can't be out for long hours, maybe 1 or 2 hours if you want to go for a meal or a movie and all that.
With the caring that I now have to center on my wife, of course I could miss many things, but I'm not that an active, outgoing person. So that helps me a bit. And I realized that peace of mind is my biggest worry, because that really gives you peace and calm. And like Jane, I'm also a Christian Catholic, so I pray a lot. And that helps a lot to calm my own fears. And of course, meeting friends at outings is a very common thing. I still have a big group of co-classmates that we still gather on for makan, lunch and dinner. So sometimes just drive up the JV and sort of thing. And these are things I have to forego for the last few years. And thank God, God has His grace to bring on COVID. So all of us are grounded. So we share the same whatever activities locally rather than go overseas. Yes, in terms of recreation, I'm a regular bowler last time or so. Yeah, and then my age catching up, and then we COVID around, I also scaled up bowling. So that really, what to say, I can use the word emotional about bowling. Sometimes I just fed up and whatever I did in my normal days, I just go bowling. And I'm still waiting for the chance to get back to bowling. Yeah, that really brings on some back, relief to me. So that's my main activity.
I guess for stroke survivors, sometimes like my husband, 1 minute he can be very nice and the next minute he will ask me to shut up because he thinks that I talk too much. So I will just take it as a pinch of salt. But sometimes there may be some arguments, when he raises his voice, and then I just put it off and just walk away from him. So these are all the mini trouble things that I have with him, but I don't really bother that because knowing that he will definitely forget whatever he has said about me. And then in the evenings, my husband and myself, we will be in his room. He goes to his bed time at about 7 o'clock. So we will have our own prayers and then reflects. Perhaps like if he is rude to me, then of course we will talk about it. I try to see why was he like that? You see, has he got some other thoughts that he didn't want to share with me? And this is the quiet moments for both of us. So we will normally, if he was rude to me, then I will expect an apology from him. So if he says, sorry, I was rude to you, I say, okay, then that ends the argument. So I say, okay, just remember you count to 10 or you always say that I trust in you, Jesus, and try to hold back your anger. So this is something that I feel that only husband and wife can share, and it's not that knowing that he's always a very negative person. So I'm trying to give a lot of hope in the sense that hoping that he will be more positive. And when people say, how have you been all these years? I don't want him to say, no good, no good. He always say no good, good. And I think that differs friends from visiting him. So I think hopefully I'm waiting for the time that he say, I'm okay, I'm very good. I don't know when that time will come, but I believe that God will have a way with him now. So private moments like that is very important for husband and wife, And I think overcoming is that when the person is angry, you just either keep quiet or you just walk away and cool yourself. So there's no point in making things more difficult, especially when he is sitting down and he will feel that, oh, I'm in this position and you can just say whatever you want without thoughts. So I think it is something that we have to overcome, and with more practices, I think getting to know him better. Still at this time, after 6 years, we also learn how to handle the situation better.
The main struggle is accepting that I'm a caregiver now. Seeing the way that she's now eat, she cannot walk, she cannot eat, and things like that. So I can only turn to God as a Christian and say to myself that just move on with it. God is with us. It takes time, almost a year, to get adapted, my new responsibilities and frustrations, of course, that come with the situation. Thankfully, that my wife is not a very demanding person, so we can just meet what she demands. Like sometimes she wants to eat certain things and things like that. It's fine. So the main thing we are worried about is more of her movement, mobility. During the time, 1 year later, when she was discharged, she still cannot walk. So we try to bring her down in a wheelchair on the ground floor level. And just walk with her, and she's happy that she sees that she's trying to walk. But as a caregiver, we feel so disappointed. Cannot move, cannot this. So at one stage when she was really bad, she can't even walk. We are at home, so they had to move the bag and carry and push. So it was very painful to see that sort of situation. You see. So overcoming the anxieties is to really for myself, I go for my personal walks. I used to go to walk, even when it's normal time by myself. I love to go to the parks and lonely places, like quiet places, so not shopping centers. So we can sit down there, do more reading, I bring a book along or whatever. And now with the handphone, it's so convenient. You can just go here and read any article you really want to see. So that's how I, managed to overcome my struggle with myself.